She ordered the wine like it was just another Friday night. Calm, collected, no hesitation. Cabernet the 89, she told the waiter without even looking at me, not even a glance. That was the moment I knew. This dinner wasn't about saving anything. It was her victory lap. My name's Nate. I'm 38. I live in Denver, Colorado. And that night, sitting across from the woman I'd been married to for 11 years, I realized I'd already checked out of the marriage without even noticing. Quick note, before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from? I'd picked this place because it used to mean something to us. White tablecloths, overpriced steaks, the same dim lighting from when I proposed to her in the corner booth. Back then she cried when she said yes. Now, she smiled like a stranger and folded her napkin neatly in her lap. I've been thinking, she said, like she was about to suggest a weekend getaway, not crush our entire marriage in one conversation. We should stop pretending. I didn't flinch. I just nodded and waited for her to continue. I already knew where this was going. Hell, I was halfway down the same road, just walking in silence. I don't regret anything, she said, swirling her wine like she'd practiced the line. It's just, life changes. People change. You seem real sure of that, I said, keeping my voice even. I am. I leaned back in my chair and scanned her face. Same sharp jawline, same cold eyes. But something was different, harder. She wasn't the woman who used to laugh at my dumb jokes in bed or call me at lunch just to say hi. She was a version of her I didn't recognize. Or maybe this was always her, and I just didn't want to see it. You've been gone for a while, haven't you? I asked. She gave me a slow, calculated look. I guess I have. That was it. No tears, no remorse. Just that cold, rehearsed tone and the clinking of her fork against the plate. The waiter came back and asked if we were ready to order. She ordered the halibut. I didn't say a word, didn't even look at the menu. What was the point? You're not mad? She asked, almost curious. No, I said, not anymore. She stared at me for a beat, like she was waiting for me to break, raise my voice, beg, accuse. But there was nothing left to fight for. I'd already buried whatever we had months ago. Tonight was just the headstone. I reached for my glass, took a slow sip, and met her eyes across the candlelight. You've made your choice, I said. I'm just here to make sure I'm not in your way when you go. She blinked once, then looked down at her plate, and I picked up my napkin, wiped my hands, and stood to leave. I didn't go home after I walked out of that restaurant. Just drove around for a while with the windows down, letting the August air slap me in the face. I wasn't sad, wasn't angry either. If anything, I felt like I'd finally stepped outside a house full of smoke. I could breathe again. Truth is, I'd known for a while. Not all at once, but in pieces. Like little cracks forming in a window until one day it just shatters. It started with the gym. Out of nowhere, she got obsessed. Up at 5 every morning, gone for 2 hours, back and too tired to talk or touch or even sit at the table. Then came the late meetings, the girls' nights that didn't include any of the friends I actually knew. She used to come home smelling like vanilla lotion and grocery store perfume. Lately it was cologne and sweat. Not mine. I didn't say anything for weeks, maybe months. I told myself I was being paranoid. That's what she'd always say when I brought something up. One night she came back from one of those meetings and left her phone on the kitchen counter while she showered. That never happened. She carried that phone like it was part of her damn body. Never faced up, always on silent. But that night, it buzzed, just once. A text popped up. Eric, same time next week. I remember staring at that screen, and the first thing that hit me wasn't rage. It was confirmation. Like I'd been playing a game I thought I was losing, and then realized the rules were rigged the whole time. I didn't open the text, didn't snoop through anything else. I just locked the phone and set it back down exactly where she left it. She walked out of the shower 10 minutes later, like nothing had happened. Hair wet, wrapped in a towel, yawning like she just ran a damn marathon. She kissed me on the cheek, told me about some budget meeting that ran late. I nodded, smiled, played along. I'd learned my lesson already. The first time I asked if something was going on between us, she turned it around so fast I didn't know what hit me. Made it about how I didn't trust her, how I was insecure, how maybe I was the one drifting. She cried, I apologized, felt like an idiot. Second time, same thing. She flipped it again, said I was always looking for problems, that I was suffocating her. That word stuck with me. Suffocating. Me, the guy who worked 50 hours a week, paid the bills, never once told her no. I wasn't perfect, but I damn sure wasn't a threat. So I stopped asking. And she stopped pretending. Sex dried up. Conversations turned into calendar updates. She'd come home and sit on the couch with her laptop open, earbuds in, nodding like she heard me, but never actually listening. I used to wonder if maybe I'd done something wrong, missed something big. But the truth is, she'd been gone way before Eric. The affair was just a symptom. The disease had been growing for years. I remember the night I finally let go. She was standing in the bathroom, getting ready for one of her networking dinners, curling her hair and humming to herself. And I just watched her. Not in love, not in anger, just watched. Like she was someone I used to know. That's when I knew I wasn't going to fight anymore. I wasn't going to beg her to stay or dig through her phone like a desperate idiot. I wasn't going to blow up our house in a fit of rage. I'd already done my grieving, and she didn't even notice. She was too busy chasing whatever version of herself she thought Eric saw. Let her chase it. All I had to do now was wait. Let her keep lying. Let her build the story in her head where I was the clueless husband and she was the misunderstood victim. Every time she slipped out the door with that fake smile and gym bag full of lingerie, she was just digging her own grave. And I was fine letting her, because when the time came, I wouldn't be throwing punches or shouting in a parking lot. I'd be calm, collected, prepared. She'd never see it coming. And that's exactly how I wanted it. A few days after that dinner, I ordered the first camera, Amazon, same-day delivery. Tiny little thing, looked like a phone charger. I plugged it into the wall near the entryway. Told her it was for security, with all the package thefts in the neighborhood lately. She barely looked up from her phone. Good idea, she said, like I'd told her I bought more paper towels. That's how it started. One camera, one lie, then another. I added one near the back door, one in the living room facing the hallway. The guest room too, she'd started spending more time in there, taking calls. That was the spot I really wanted eyes on. I didn't rush, I was slow, careful. Every move I made looked like it had nothing to do with her. I even bought a dummy sign for the yard. Smile, you're on camera. That sold it. After that, I moved on to digital. We shared a cloud account for calendars. Always had. Family stuff, appointments, birthdays. She never thought I'd check it. Why would she? She was so sure I was out of the loop, too passive to care. But I started syncing her phone logs, screenshots of her work calendar, her Google activity, quietly. Every week I'd back it all up to a separate drive and make a copy on my private laptop. She didn't change her passwords, didn't even set up two-factor, lazy, arrogant, or both. The texts between her and Eric were there, buried in the cloud. Some were harmless. Heading out, don't forget the room key. Others, not so much. One said, wish I could wake up next to you every day. Another, he's totally clueless. I can sneak out by 10. That one burned, but I didn't react. I just logged it, saved it, labeled the file with the date and time, and moved on. My plan wasn't about catching her in one big act. It was about building a full story, from beginning to end, with receipts. Watching her became easier once I stopped pretending she was my wife. I started looking at her like a case study. She had patterns. Tuesdays and Thursdays she always left early and came back late. She'd come home smiling to herself. Sometimes humming, sometimes quiet, always detached. One night, she sat across from me at the dinner table and asked if I'd remembered to take the trash out. No shame, no guilt, just chewing her food, sipping her wine, completely unaware I'd just seen a hotel reservation in her inbox 2 hours earlier. The reservation was under a fake name, Emma J. But it was her email, her credit card, her favorite hotel downtown. I looked it up on Street View to confirm the entrance. Made a note of the suite number. I didn't say a word. Instead, I opened a new tab and looked up Eric Thatcher, mid-40s, divorced twice, some kind of freelance consultant, which usually means broke or shady. I found a LinkedIn page with 0 connections and an Instagram account with 3 followers. 2 of them were bots. His real name popped up in a lawsuit from 4 years ago. Real estate fraud. Settled out of court. I saved everything. A few nights later, she left her laptop open while she showered. I mirrored the screen to my phone and scrolled through her messages with him. Same crap, sexting, complaining about me, planning fake business trips together. One message caught me off guard. Eric had written, "He doesn't seem like the type to fight back." That one stuck with me. It wasn't a warning. It was an insult. And it told me exactly how they saw me. Weak, passive, blind. They were wrong. I didn't want an apology. I didn't want a confrontation where she cried and made excuses. I wanted proof, facts, something no one could twist or deny. This wasn't revenge. It was justice. So I kept logging, kept watching. I let her think she was in control while I pulled every thread from the inside. And I wasn't done yet. 2 nights after I mirrored her laptop, I got a call I didn't expect. It was close to midnight. I was at my desk, scrolling through backup files, when Melanie's name lit up my phone. Her sister. I hadn't heard from her in over a year. I almost let it go to voicemail. But something told me to answer. "Melanie," I said. She didn't respond right away. Just heavy breathing, maybe a sniffle. Then her voice came through, slurred and low. "Hey, Nate, I need to tell you something." I leaned back in my chair. "Go ahead." "I've had a few drinks," she said. "So just don't yell, okay?" "I'm not gonna yell." "I can't do it anymore," she said, words tumbling out now. "I can't keep pretending I don't know what's going on. She's my sister, but Jesus, she's been lying to you for over a year. I told her it was wrong. I didn't interrupt. Just let her keep digging." "She gave me access to her calendar last spring," Melanie said, "so I could help plan Mom's party, but I never got removed. I still get alerts." I sat forward. "You have it?" "I emailed it to you tonight," she said. "Check your inbox. It's a shared folder. Bookings, meetings, hotel reservations under fake names. Look at the private events label. Those are all Eric." I opened my laptop and pulled up the email. Sure enough, there it was. Her entire fake life laid out in plain sight. Dozens of calendar entries over the last 10 months. Hotel names, check-ins, fake conference titles. She'd booked a room 2 weeks ago under Jay Preston, an old alias she used back when she booked stuff for her boss. "You still there?" Melanie asked. "I'm here." "I'm sorry," she said, her voice cracking. "I should have told you earlier, but she kept saying she'd stop, that it was just a phase. She swore she loved you." I clicked on one of the PDFs, an invoice for a room in Vail, 2 nights, spa add-ons, champagne upgrade. "Melanie," I said, "you don't need to explain anything." "She's my sister," she said, "but what she's doing, it's evil." I stayed quiet for a second. Then, "This isn't about you anymore." There was a pause on her end. "So, what are you gonna do?" "I'm building a case," I said. "Thanks for filling in the gaps." She let out a shaky breath. "Do you hate her?" "No," I said. "I'm past that." Another pause. "Are you gonna ruin her?" I didn't answer that one. She sniffled again. "I really am sorry." I ended the call without saying goodbye. Then I spent the next 2 hours cross-referencing the calendar files with my own notes. Everything lined up, right down to the hour, the client trips, the overnights, even the missed birthdays and anniversaries. All of it matched up with hotel charges, GPS pings, and Eric's name buried in metadata. She hadn't even tried to cover her tracks. That's what got me. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the laziness, the entitlement. Like she thought she could do whatever she wanted, and I'd just roll over and take it, but not this time. I renamed the folder Final Confirmations, backed it up twice, and started building a timeline. No emotion, no second guessing, just facts. This wasn't about heartbreak anymore. It was about justice. And I was almost ready to deliver it. The next morning, I texted Caleb. We hadn't talked in a couple years, just the occasional birthday thumbs up. But he used to be my roommate back at CSU. These days, he ran a private tech security company out of Boulder. Last I checked, he set up surveillance for businesses and did contract work for law firms. I didn't need much, just gear that wouldn't get noticed. We met up for lunch that same afternoon. "So, what exactly are you trying to catch?" he asked between bites of his sandwich. I didn't flinch. "My wife. She's cheating. I need it on video, discreet, full coverage." He stared at me for a second. "You sure you want to see it?" "I already have," I said. "This is just insurance." He nodded. "Okay, I've got microcams, no lights, no sound, real-time stream. I can have two hooked into your phone and cloud account by tonight. Bedroom and guest room, I said. He raised a brow. That specific? She talks to him in the guest room. They meet in the bedroom. He didn't ask for names, just gave me a date and time to pick up the gear and walked me through setup. That night, while she was out running errands, I installed both cameras. Bedroom cam went inside the lamp base. Guest room cam went behind a fake air freshener on the dresser. Motion activated, high res, hidden in plain sight. I tested both from my car before she got back. By the time she walked in with shopping bags and a fake smile, I was already watching her from my phone. I acted normal, asked about her day. She lied, like always. Next day, the footage confirmed everything. She took a call in the guest room, paced in front of the dresser while twirling her hair like a teenager. I can't wait, she said. I'll tell him I have a work dinner. He won't question it. I paused the video and saved the timestamp. Later that week, I watched her lay out lingerie on our bed and pack it in her yoga bag. Then she looked straight into the mirror and smiled to herself. It made my skin crawl, but I didn't react. I didn't throw the phone or punch a wall. I just leaned back, took a deep breath, and kept watching. I was playing a long game now, and I already knew how it ended. Every day I checked the cloud footage. Every night I updated the file logs, synced the phone records, added calendar matches, and created backups on encrypted drives. This wasn't about hurting her anymore. It was about exposing her for exactly who she was, with no room to lie, no way out. She thought she was winning. She thought I was asleep at the wheel, but I was 5 moves ahead. I wasn't waiting for her to confess. I didn't need her to. She was digging her own grave with every call, every lie, every meeting that turned into a hotel stay. Let her keep going. The more rope she gave herself, the easier it would be when I pulled. The next morning, I drove to the hotel. It was a boutique spot near downtown. Low-key, overpriced, the kind of place that markets privacy like it's a damn amenity. I already knew which nights she'd stayed there. The calendar entries, the credit card charges, the camera footage. It all matched. I just needed confirmation from the source. I walked in wearing business casual, carried an old laptop bag like I'd just come from a client meeting. The front desk girl looked up with a polite smile. "Can I help you?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah, I'm hoping you can clear something up. My wife was here last week. She booked under her work's name, but I haven't been able to get in touch with her since. It's probably nothing, but I just need to make sure everything's fine." Her smile faltered a little. Do you know the reservation name? She sometimes uses her maiden name. Could have been Jessica Malone, or the company card might have said Preston. She typed for a few seconds, eyes flicking between the screen and me. We did have a Jessica Malone stay with us, 4 nights ago. Room 213. I kept my tone steady. "That's her? Do you mind printing the folio? I just need something to show her boss in case this turns into an HR thing." She hesitated. "We normally don't give that out." I leaned in slightly. "Look, I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just worried she's lying to everyone, and I really need to know the truth before this turns into a legal mess." She gave a tiny nod, clicked a few more times, and hit print. "Here you go," she said, sliding the page across the counter. "Room charges, check-in, check-out, card used. That's all I can legally give." I smiled like it was no big deal. "This helps a lot. Thanks for understanding." Outside, I sat in my car and scanned the paper. 2:13, check-in Tuesday night, out Thursday morning, out. Spa services, room service, champagne on night 1. I pulled out my phone and opened her work calendar for those same dates. Quarterly strategy review, remote, team dinner, off-site, client call, 7 a.m., all fake. Then I pulled up the home security footage from that Tuesday. There she was, curling her hair at 5:30 p.m., packing a small bag in the bedroom, texting Eric in the guest room. I screenshotted the footage, saved it. Next, I checked the IP logs from our shared router history. She'd logged into her work email at 9:11 p.m., Tuesday. The IP address came from that hotel. I added it to the log. No anger, no adrenaline, just clean, sharp execution, like solving a puzzle where every piece already fits. Back home, I started labeling folders, one for hotel proof, one for home footage, one for her fake work documents. Every file had a date, time, source, and screenshot. It was airtight. She had no idea. That night, she got home a little late, kissed me on the cheek, and went straight upstairs. I poured a drink and watched her through the security feed as she sat on the bed, scrolling her phone, probably texting him again. She looked relaxed, safe, still believing she was untouchable. She wasn't. I was done collecting. Now it was time to plan the reveal. And this time, it wouldn't just be private. I woke up at 6 the next morning and opened my laptop. The email was already drafted. Took me 3 days to write. Tight, professional, no emotion. Just bulletproof documentation and a subject line that made it impossible to ignore. Employee misconduct, Jessica Preston, time fraud, and inappropriate conduct during business hours. I attached 4 PDFs. One was a full calendar breakdown showing work events that lined up with hotel check-ins. One was screenshots from her company laptop IP logs matched with the hotel's guest network. One had security cam stills from our house, her leaving in lingerie under her coat. And the last one, room service bills, champagne, spa charges, 2 breakfasts, every time. I hit send. 5 minutes later, it was done. I didn't go back to sleep. I poured coffee and sat by the window, watching the sun come up like it was any other morning. She came downstairs around 7:30, dressed sharp, gray pencil skirt, hair straightened, work tote over her shoulder. "You want me to grab anything from the store tonight?" she asked, grabbing her keys. "No," I said. "I'm good." She kissed me on the cheek like she hadn't been exposed 30 minutes ago. Then she walked out the door and into the fire. At 9:15, I got the read receipt. At 10:02, her company's HR director replied with one sentence. "We are initiating immediate action. Thank you for bringing this to our attention." By noon, she was placed on administrative leave. I know that because she called me 12 times in an hour. I didn't pick up. Then came the texts. "Jess, can you call me right now? It's urgent." "Jess, I don't know what's going on, but something's seriously wrong at work." "Jess, did you talk to anyone? They're saying someone submitted a report about me." I muted her number and kept watching. She came home early, stormed through the front door like someone had pulled the fire alarm on her life, slammed her bag on the counter, and started pacing. I pulled up the live feed from the guest room cam. She was calling someone, probably Eric. "He knows something," she said. "Someone sent them everything. I'm going to lose my job over this." There was a pause. "No, he hasn't said a word to me," she snapped. "He's just acting normal. That's what's freaking me out." I smiled. By dinner, she'd calmed down enough to fake small talk. I played along, nodded when she talked about her weird day, and even offered to pick up takeout. She agreed, like nothing had happened, but her eyes kept darting, watching me like I might snap. I didn't. That was the point. Because while she scrambled to protect her fake image, I had already pulled the rug out from under her. Next day, word started spreading through her office. HR had locked her out of the system. Her work laptop was flagged for investigation. Emails were frozen. She wasn't fired yet, but she was radioactive. Her whole identity was built on that job. She bragged about being the youngest director in her department, always flaunting her work ethic like she was some kind of self-made queen. Now she was a scandal waiting to explode. I watched it all happen from the sidelines. Didn't respond to her texts, didn't offer comfort. I let her spiral. This wasn't about just hurting her. This was about taking back control, quietly, strategically, without raising my voice or losing my cool. She wanted to play games in the dark? Fine. But I brought floodlights, and I wasn't done yet. The message came in around 9 p.m. Not a number I recognized, just a random Colorado area code and a short, simple text. "I know who you are. I just want to say thank you. Julia." I stared at it for a second before responding. "Who is this?" The reply came fast. "Eric's girlfriend. Or I was until 20 minutes ago." I didn't respond right away, just sat back and let the weight of it settle. Then she sent another message, longer this time. I saw the footage, the calendar, everything. She told him you didn't know, that you were too dumb to ever figure it out. Guess she forgot smart guys play quiet. I couldn't argue with that. "Not looking for anything," she added. "Just thought you deserved to know someone's finally making her pay." That part hit different, not because it felt good, it didn't. I didn't feel vindicated or proud, just finished. Like someone closed the last chapter for me. "Good luck," I typed. "Burn it all down." She replied with a heart. I left her on red. The next morning, I met with my lawyer. Samantha had handled a buddy's divorce last year and didn't sugarcoat anything. I liked that about her. No fake sympathy, just facts, timelines, and signatures. "You ready?" she asked. I nodded. "Been ready." She slid a stack of papers across the table. "This covers filing, asset freeze, preliminary separation, and initial custody waiver. You have no kids, so it's pretty straightforward." I flipped through and started signing. No hesitation. As soon as I got home, I started shifting money around. Joint savings, gone. Moved to a private account in my name only. Credit cards, canceled. I left hers active just long enough to track the next few purchases. Wanted to see where she ran first. Then I pulled the last 3 boxes from the garage. Her stuff. Wedding album, old photos, that designer handbag she said she'd die before losing. All of it went into the boxes. I cleared out her side of the closet, the drawers, even her stupid bathroom organizer that took up half the counter. Every item I packed felt like a brick coming off my chest. This wasn't rage. I wasn't throwing things or breaking glass. I was cleaning house, literally and emotionally. I labeled the boxes Jessica P. and stacked them by the front door. She wasn't home, claimed she had a company mediation call and needed space to think. I didn't care where she was. Her name was already off the utilities. The locks were getting changed next week. I walked through the house, checking off the mental list. Mail forwarding, done. Shared streaming accounts, cut off. Even the digital photo frames she loved, wiped clean. Blank. At exactly 2:15 p.m., I received confirmation the divorce papers were filed with the county clerk. That was the last checkbox. I stared at the email for a long second, then shut the laptop and took a deep breath. Not relief, not peace, not yet. But it was close. Because she still had to face it in person, still had to look me in the eye and realize she lost. And I wanted her to. Not for closure, not for forgiveness, just for the truth. She built a life on lies and expected me to carry it for her. Smile for her family. Cover her stories. Fund her second life while she mocked me behind my back. Now I was turning off the power and walking out. And she'd have to live in the dark she created. I told her to come by at 5. She showed up late, of course. 5:20, no apology. Just walked in like she still lived there, keys jangling in her hand like they meant something. I didn't say a word, just pointed to the kitchen table, where one small box sat waiting. She looked at it, then at me. "What is this?" she asked. I pushed it toward her. Inside was her wedding ring, her house key, and a sealed envelope. On top of the box sat the divorce papers, already signed and filed. Her face dropped. "You already—" "Nate, wait. Can we talk?" I didn't answer. Just crossed my arms and stood there while she opened the envelope. She pulled out the printouts, texts, hotel receipts, screenshots, calendar logs. I watched her hands shake as she flipped through page after page. "You went through my stuff?" "No," I said. "You left it all out in the open. I just paid attention." She swallowed hard, eyes glossing over. "Nate, I didn't mean for it to go this far." I nodded. "But it did." "I was stupid," she said, voice cracking. God, I don't know what I thought. I just wanted to feel something again." "You felt plenty," I said. "Just not here." She stepped closer, reaching for my hand. "Please, don't do this. We can fix it." I stepped back, her eyes filled with panic. "I'll quit the job. I'll block him. You can erase it all. Just give me a chance to make it right." I shook my head. "It's already right." She looked down at the box like it was burning her. "You don't have to hate me," she whispered. "I don't," I said. "I just don't care anymore." That hit her harder than anything else. She stood frozen, hands trembling, trying to form words that didn't come. I opened the door. She grabbed the box, hugged it like it held her last shred of identity, and walked out without another word. I watched her get in the car and sit there for a few seconds before driving off. I didn't flinch, didn't look away. Once the taillights disappeared down the street, I shut the door. Silence filled the house. Not heavy, clean. I turned off the porch light, locked the deadbolt, and sat down at the table alone. No weight on my chest, no fire in my gut. Just peace. For the first time in years.